Good afternoon. Today is finally Friday. This has been a historic week in the market. If you look back 7 days, you will see that we had our very bearish close on a Friday. We had our gap down on Monday, historic selling off in the overnight session, and the recovery has been shades of a bull flag. We've seen this many times. We still have more information. We still need to learn more as we move forward for next week, but we'll worry about next week. Damn, next week. As of today, our goal is to review today's market generated information in a consolidated fashion. We're following the narrative of the price actions auction in ES and in Q, and we'll continue to compress, track, and review all gleaned information. If we have time, we may theorize and add additional commentary towards the end. Today's perspective is a bit of a mix between real time analysis that we have already reviewed and participated for 2.5 hours, combined with hindsight and an objective perspective that we have now. If you want any more information about our perspective that we had for the prep and our expectations, please review the previous video of today. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Today we had an extremely light calendar. This week we had a light calendar, rather. There was no reports for today, nothing really anticipated. This is actually last week, so my apologies. So nothing was on the docket for today. I'm not signed in to see the earnings. There wasn't much earnings this week. Nothing really too important next week outside of Home Depot, Walmart. We got a few XLP, I believe, but we'll worry about that later on. We'll go ahead and take a look at the sector tracker for the S&P 500. You can see that we close around 0.5% today. And the majority of this was done in the overnight. We had a nice little gap up and hold of prior day range and just a little bit grindy, but again, we'll look at that later on. The only red one we have today is materials. They're a little lighter weight. I was interested to see how utilities are doing. Again, we believe that we were seeing some distribution of money from the defensive stocks to our main mega caps, I believe would be the best way to explain that. But I digress. Leader for today would be communications. Again, it's going to be Google, Meta, um, yeah, T-Mobile, AT&T, Charter Communications, EA, which is always cool, Comcast, Verizon, Netflix, things of that nature. So those ended up leading for today alongside healthcare, which is really good. Eli Lilly had their earnings yesterday, and they're still thumping to the upside, which is extremely good in a time of need. Real estate is back to doing pretty well. Financials, I'm glad that they're holding. Energy, they closed green, which is always good. And again, staples and utilities are towards the bottom. And even discretionary, I'm a little surprised here, but the defensive stocks for sure, they should be a little less as we're rotating money out of those markets into more higher valuation assets, I believe would be the way to explain that. The top three for the XLY is doing pretty well. Again, that's Home Depot. They report next week. Tesla and then Amazon. So just very nice across the board. Good stuff. LOL and McDonald's being down 1.2%. All right, so we have our information from a greeting, from our macro perspective. The main narrative, again, is what we already went over. We're just trying to continue a bull flag and hopefully close this week green, which would be incredibly important for the buyers. So we'll ask ourselves, where is the market coming from? We've already done that. Yesterday was just bear with me. Yesterday was a low to high day with a balance overnight, opening towards the bottom end of that range. What did the market try to accomplish today? Coming from the close will be simply balance price higher and close above. And that's exactly what happened. Fairly simple day. Were there any surprises? No surprises at all outside of the return to lighter volume, but we'll look at the stats shortly. A little bit of a quiet day. So not surprising to us. as we've been following along the narrative in the auction, the narrative of the auction, but to others that may have caught some off guard, expecting a wild finish to the week. So again, we'll take a look at the monthly candle just for a quick look to see how we finish for our first full week of the month. Very nice down spike behavior. So much we're still incredibly bearish, and we close under 2 weeks, just back into this balance range. My apologies. Let me go down to the weekly. Finish the weekly candle. Very nice bullish behavior here. We're right back where we started for the most part, which is extremely bullish and a very nice sign of strength. Very much so. Daily candles, bear flagging still. So we do want to take this with a grain of salt. And we did touch this 5 daily SMA. Close below it. We're back into this zone again, as we spoke of. I would imagine the same situation here for the NQ. A little different structure, but they closed below their past 2 weeks and still into this range that we speak of. That's the monthly, that's the weekly, and we're back to the daily. Same situation, but we closed above that zone, which again, we've been having subtle hints of more bullishness from the tech side of things, though they did lead us here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they'd lead us out of here. Again, we go as tech goes. All right, we can only glean so much from these daily candles. So let's take a quick look at the profile. 66 points of range, neutral for the delta. And this is about above average volume, what we were seeing before. Relative to what we've seen recently, this would be low. But this is quite normal. This is a normal, healthy day. I'm glad the market is finding some balance. It's healthy. Balance leads to imbalance. Imbalance leads to balance. Look at the delta here. You can see a lot of buyers here at the highs. Not the best position there. Very thin profile at the bottom. A little bit in the middle, but just about even. Again, it's very, very light. We don't want to look too much into this, especially relative to all the action that has preceded us. But we do have some buyers up here, not in the best position, as well as sellers as well. Import position, that is. Same situation here, except it's a little worse for the buyers. Excuse me, for the sellers. It's only so much that we can glean here. And again, this is just lower volume in general relative to the recent past. So we'll take a quick look at our. Actually, we've been doing NQ first. So let's switch back to the S&P 500. We're gonna go ahead and mix these 2 days. Actually, I'm going to. Can we undo that? Remove leftmost. There we go. I want that Friday there because that was incredibly important. I may even. No, we're gonna leave that there. That was the Thursday, naturally. I like seeing where that gap was. Just a clear indication of, yep, that's Friday. I do remember that heavy volume at the lows, which is gonna be support. Former support turned into resistance. We ended up having some testing to the highs of that, poke through, immediately came back down. Hasn't really, tested too much above there. Went in, got rejected. Now we're just kind of creeping below it. Very nice close though. To our downside, this was the high volume node from the prior day, which was Thursday, and just a nice history zone high volume node for the prior day, which was Wednesday. So again, we were looking at this in real time last night as far as we were looking at this in real time for the prep, and we did notice it's just balanced behavior. This area didn't get tested until 6 o'clock. All right, this was 5:30 actually. Again, no data. So again, we were just kind of just balancing here, nothing special. Let me call out some of these prices. We were just balancing between the 63s and the basically let's call it 30s. So we're bouncing between 30 and 60, about a 30-point range, nothing too much, a little bit higher, a little bit below it. This is a clear sign of balance. We're not trying to we're not having any excursion above or any price discovery below. None on either side. RTH opens, higher highs, higher lows. We drift up. We drift up. We're still in this balance zone by 8 o'clock, 8:30. Still nothing really going on. We're still balancing in the middle. I've already lost interest. I did participate in this, but again, I was just you could tell this was just balance. And again, all this is lighter volume, very normal shape profile overall, just incredibly ugly while you're already in a high clustered area in general, just key and pivotal in general. Again, we are bullish above this area and bearish below, but we need to have some clear impulse coil and then a retest to even think about going short in this area. No different than going long. So this is more of a sit off, sit on your hands kind of zone. We need more information. Again, no different than when you're in school, you have a question that just doesn't make sense and it's missing some information. You just need to answer. Don't have enough information. My apologies. There is no singles outside of the little high, but we'll leave that alone. There's no real reason to make updates here. So we're just going to add this. This is just I believe these are considered an island day. Notice that this whole week, which I'm definitely going to leave this profile on its own, this whole week, I want to see what it looks like together. I don't like the way that looks just for me because it's my profile, but the volume pointer control is damn up here, which is just chef's kiss. Very very nice from buyers. I love this rat tail comb P-shaped looking thing here. Just not real much activity below. And we had a couple changes to get down there. I believe it may have been through the overnights. But again, this is getting more into like a weekly review. So we'll go ahead and move forward. Very nice overall for the buyers. Same situation, Rat Tail Calm here for the NQ. During the overnight sessions, we primarily traded between the 620s and the 430s. So almost 200 points of range. Same situation, RTH. Wasn't until over here in this area. So before RTH, we had a little excursion above. We had a little excursion below. Found support in their same area that we created here. Couldn't pierce it. Another key sign of balance. Diddling in the middle. A lot of trading in here. Ended up getting uninterested. Tried to poke above. Could not touch these singles from the day on Thursday, I believe. Yeah, I'll need to look at this singles area. Hold on, let me actually double check this because this is 30. Hold on. Don't know what's up with this zone here. This, because those are not singles. I'm just gonna remove this because it doesn't make sense. I don't have any zones here. We'll make a quick reference of here because we do need to get above this zone there. We'll call that, and that's from 8-1. Go ahead and get this little area too, which we already got in. Should be the area value area high, and then just nice little stops over here. Looks like they ran those stops and we're done. No reason to put that here. Not gonna overcomplicate this. We can do this on the weekend. Same situation here again. This is brother and sister going on right here, so just more balance in this area. Um, just a lot of effort was spent, a lot of energy was spent calling up this great wall of balance is what I call it. So everyone just appears to be tired. So we'll go ahead and wrap that up there. So we have a good understanding of the auction that we've had recently. Anything that we're looking forward. I'm not gonna say this is a bullish or bearish at the moment. Um, Seasonality and pattern recognition has people believing this may be a perfect time to buy and to buy the dip situation. This could be one of the occurrences where it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And if people are there willing to buy and buy the higher prices, then goddamn it, the price is going up. Simple as that. So you don't want to overcomplicate things. This was a historic sell-off for the sellers. Typically in these situations, from what I've gleaned from others, people that I do trust and I do well-respected members in our community, understanding more about the VIX and typical responses for a chaos sell-off, an awesome time to buy. This seems to be one of those situations. But again, we can get a little more into that in our personal review. I'm not going to take up time. This is just about this day specifically and how we finish this week. We'll leave it there for now. Next week we do have some activity on the calendar. We can look at that at a later time, maybe on a Monday or this weekend if we decide to. Very awesome week, very awesome day, just nice overall. Go ahead and cut it short. We're not going to go over any other markets at the moment. We finished this day. And again, we can look at the candles here. My apologies here. I'll take a quick glance at this. This was the balancing. We can see this on the market profile. If it's balanced, it's really not too much to look at, to be perfectly transparent. This is just ugly. Uh, this did make sense to me in real time. Actually, I'll go ahead and pull out in the chart. In the chart. Looking at the candles, we have our overnight balance. We ended up open towards the end of the range. Go ahead and do a quick commentary on this just out of habit. Again, we did this in real time, so you can see us breaking this down, see if there's any discrepancies. But again, one up, down, one up, one down, one up, one down, three down, two up, one down, two up. So this is just a very good indication of potential balance. So this kind of had us sitting on our hands here. We did eventually get our breakout of the B bracket and then a coil down into an impulse to start the C bracket. This is where we were having some activity, shorting on this side, thinking that we were going to go down, and even trying to go long on this side, which we ended up paper handing, to be perfectly honest. We also found support here later on. So this was just a typical open auction beginning. This is really more to the downside because this candle was for the B bracket. We'll look at NQ shortly, but more of an open auction, possibly open. No, it wouldn't be open rejection, but yeah, possibly open auction for the A bracket. We had our impulse out and then our pullback to some key DGPs. And again, this was somewhat confirmed on the tape. The tape saw a lack of selling continuation, and sellers were stacking up at higher prices, trying to advertise some liquidity upwards, is what it felt like, in my perspective. Again, we have one leg down. Then we have our reversal leg here. I pull back into this midpoint 100%. I do want to check this just fibs, just for the hell of it, just to see what does that look like. Okay, sure. All right, we had our leg up, we had our pullback, we had our other leg up, we had our other pullback, same level to buys, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Very nice trend up, balanced day. I wouldn't even say this is I mean, this would be more of like a high balance, only because we finished inside of our overnight range. So absolutely tough day to trade if you were doing this with higher frequency. And this is about the same situation for the NQ. We'll take a quick look at that. It's pretty much our last minute. Finish inside of this range, same situation. We'll spread this out just a little bit. Put our RTH VWAP here. Again, one up, one down, one up, one down, three down, two up, two down. This looked a little bit weaker in real time, but seeing this action here, I actually went short here and closed out. This was pretty funny. We had our leg up, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, balance. So again, very simple for today. We just want to keep our same process. We're doing a very good job with gleaning this information and becoming more articulate by the day. So GG's overall, and I'll be back later on.